Hi everyone, how's it going? My name's Nuclear_Reaction. So people call me Nukes. Today I'll be showcasing Ocarina of Time Randomizer Blitz Seed. This is the version of Ocarina of Time Rando that we have not seen at a GDQ yet. The main difference is we have settings that essentially are going to make this typically a lot faster. Most seeds are between 2 to 3 hours. I don't think we'll go longer than 3 hours if we do this. The main thing is that we need to complete 5 dungeons, any 5 dungeons, to complete the seed and get to Ganon's castle. So it just kind of leads for things to be easier, since those can also be stone dungeons instead of just needing to get the 6 medallion dungeons. As you can see from my tracker right now, we do start with a free medallion as always. That does not count towards our 5 dungeon count. So we need to have 6 rewards to get to the bridge, just to clarify. We do start with a free song now. That's kind of been a new thing since season 4 of Zooter. So we always start with the Zelda Lullaby song check. That one just happened to give us Zelda's Lullabies, but sometimes we'll start with a different song. Another thing which we will see here is random starting age and random overworld spawn. So those are some of the big things we'll start in the big differences we're going to see in the beginning here. But let's get started with the seed, and I'll explain more as we go on. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so as I said, we start with random age and random overworld spawn. In this scenario, we did start as adult Link. In the past, before season 4 of Ocarina of Time Randomizer competitive scene, we would always start as young Link in Link's house. That is not the case anymore. Sometimes you'll start as a child. Oops, sometimes you'll start as an adult. You'll always start in a random location. So that is a factor. It does affect our routing quite a bit. It just keeps it a little spicy, honestly. Since I started as an adult near Kakariko, adult Kakariko is a really great place to go knock out a bunch of checks. We do get also a song here, which prioritizing songs in the beginning of Zooter Seeds is super important, since they can give you just like a fast way to travel around the world. So we really want to see those. Some songs also lock a lot of checks, like ZL does. ZL also locks finishing dungeons. Right here, you're going to see me do a cool little jump. We're using that to get to the man on the roof over here. You'll see me throughout the seed do neat little jumps like that, just to kind of get checks that we can't get with certain items. So normally you need a hook shot to get to him. There are just certain things that are allowed in Zooter competitive scenes. Some things are not. Essentially, you don't want to just be like glitching all over the place, using ace and stuff to get around. Some people you might see if you watch like maybe like ZFG, I know he'll do Zooter Seeds without any what we call logic, which means that your items could really be anywhere. How we do it in like the competitive scene is the seeds are always going to be beatable no matter what. So that means that, you know, if you're the worst player, you make maybe the worst decisions, you are still going to be able to finish your seed at the end of the day. You're never going to get soft locked out. So right now we're just doing a lot of quick checks. Ooh, that's really nice to see. Seeing some form of explosives is super, super fantastic. Another just like little quote unquote, oh, we are getting some nice things here in the beginning. A little skip there though is we can just grab that ledge. Collision, what is that? So already starting with some nice starting items here. Bow is one of those things that we need to beat any Zooter seed, because it is required to beat Ganon at the end. You need a bow, light arrows, and magic. So those are the 3 items we're always going to need in a Zooter, no matter what. So already getting one of those off is really great. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, we're starting with a lot of great things this seed. Kokiri Sword is important because we need Kokiri Sword to get into the Deku Tree. Mido's going to be blocking there. In order to get him to move out of the way, you have to show him that you have Kokiri Sword equipped and a Deku Shield equipped. So that's really nice to get that. What you saw right there was something that we do to see through walls. There's certain areas that will do that just so we can like take a peek at what the item is. Normally that crate up there you need to plant a bean or use a long shot to get up to, but if we just roll into that wall and press C up at a certain point of our roll, we're able to just peek in that box. So I saw it was a piece of heart in there, and we don't need a piece of heart to beat the game, so I don't have to worry about getting that then. So already starting off not too bad here. Game is definitely, oh boy, but Dompe. Game is starting to push us over to the Deku Tree, which has a lot of checks early on here. So some of the nice things you'll see in Ocarina of Time Randomizer is just like some quality of life things. Here, normally you have to do the race with Dompe twice, but if you do it under a minute the first time, whoops, that was a mistake. He just automatically gives you your 2 items. All right, that was unfortunate that we did not. Normally you do a jump there to void out, and I failed it, so I got kind of soft locked in that room, so I had to save reset. That just means that we're gonna skip some checks over there for now and move on. Here you see me checking some hint stones. Hint stones give you information and are super helpful in a seed. They can tell you sometimes what areas have no useful items in them, what areas could have your progression in them, what certain checks are. So like for one, we learned that the Ocarina of Time check, which requires all 3 stones to check, is Saria's song. So thankfully we shouldn't need to get that song. We also learned that Frogs 2 has a slingshot, so I'm not going to worry about that. We learned that Market is path to Sapphire, which means the Market's going to have some item in it that will lead me to whatever dungeon has the Sapphire reward. Forget what the 4th one said, but a lot of good information there. We're gonna go ahead and rush over towards Kokiri. I am gonna real quick grab some stuff in the market while we're here though. One of them's gonna be the mask to start the mask trading sequence. Oh, the last hint was collecting Kukos is a red rupee. Oh, I just remembered, yeah. So Kuko collecting is dead, which is nice because collecting Kukos for Anju is a check that a lot of us don't like to do. It's very tedious, very long for just one item, so it's usually a waste of time. So seeing a hint that tells you that that for sure has nothing is just like a relief. You don't have to like ever question like, did Anju have my item? Oh shoot! Oh, this game is killer. I'm gonna stop talking real quick so I can focus on this and not fail it again. Or I just fail it again. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. This pain is kind of a pain sometimes. Okay. Sorry, I had to focus on there, so yay, it was worth it. All right, we're getting a lot of great items here in the beginning. Already, we have the items to complete the Deku Tree and Dodongo's Cavern. So we're already set up to beat 2 of the 5 required dungeons, which is really, really nice. We still will need to find our light arrows somewhere and some magic somewhere. But this is a great start. I am gonna go ahead here. Oops. When we need to collect a lot of money, we farm for rupees up here. Jumping up the chains every time gives you 40 rupees. So I'm gonna grab some rupees. I'm gonna need them for various checks. One of them is gonna be checking the bomb chew bowling minigame here. Since we have a bomb bag, we can do that now. So we're gonna go ahead and do that very quickly here. Check that real quick. While we're doing that, I did mention earlier there are 3 items that we'll always need to beat Ocarina of Time Rando no matter what. A bow, which we already have, our light arrows, and magic. The Blitz setting usually will have, oh boy, we're taking a lot of damage there. We'll usually have, a hint for where our magic is, so that kind of helps with that question. Light arrows, so like one of the big differences with Blitz settings compared to the old Zooter settings, standard Zooter settings, are there are 2 light arrows in every seed, which kind of helps cut down the time a lot of the time here. One is going to be randomly in the world. That's going to be the one that if you go up to Ganon without light arrows at the end, he is going to tell you which area the light arrows are on. So that's tied with that. The other one is going to be excuse me. It is going to be in the light arrow cutscene, which is that reward is given in these settings when you finish 6 dungeons. So basically you'll beat 6 dungeons, go to Temple of Time, and you'll be rewarded the other light arrows. So it just kind of helps make it a little more consistent in a way. Because there's situations where like you'll finish your 5 dungeons in these settings, go to Ganon, and he'll tell you that your light arrows are in a location that you do not have the items to reach, and all of a sudden you're scouring the whole entire seed to find the items to get to your light arrows. Which obviously if we're trying to finish these consistently fast, that can be a real bummer. So this just helps give another option for finding your light arrows. It also should just make these seeds go a lot faster. Here we are. Even though I said that we have our Kokiri sword, I am coming out to Lon first because the items, the song checks are very, very important. Also, to note, something I learned recently. The Kukos in this game, that are the Kukos you need to pick up, they peck deeper into the ground than the other Kukos. So that's kind of how I was able to finish that game so quickly, as I could tell by the way those were pecking into the ground, which ones I needed to pick up. I'm just gonna drink some tea. So you'll see me collecting throughout the seed Skulltula tokens. In the game, there are rewards found on 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 Skulltula tokens. However, in Blitz setting, we have turned off always 40 and 50 skull tokens. So we will never need to collect all of those. Skull tokens just kind of take a lot of time to collect, so just having those off is nice. One of the hint stones will tell us what our 30 reward is, but it's just kind of a good idea to pick up skull tokens along the way. So there's certain ones we usually route in because they're not very long to do. Again, you saw me roll into the wall there to just peek what was behind there. Saves the time of having to move the blocks in that room and crawl underneath to peek at what that item is. The song we got from Saria, or from Malin, was Minuet, which is actually very nice routing wise. It just puts us right here in the forest, so that we can get to Deku Tree pretty fast. We're gonna read some hint stones here. Whoopsie poopsies. We're gonna read some hint stones here. One we found out is Gerudo Fortress is barren. So again, some of these hint stones are gonna tell us areas that aren't gonna have any items of value with us. So we know that we don't even have to go to those areas, which is very, very nice when you're trying to, you know, finish something fast. Big Pose is a Deku Shield, so we know that check is dead. And Skull Mask is dead as well, so those are some nice hints there. I'm gonna check the Wolfos Grotto right here. Write that down. We always keep a notepad up during Zooters and to keep our notes straight. We get a lot of information during these. Try to type when I have a chance. Oh, okay. Well, there's our light arrows. So thankfully we don't have to worry about where our light arrows are now. That also means that we will not have to complete a 6th dungeon. So we'll only have to do our required 5 dungeons, which is very, very nice in the grand scheme of things. We're still gonna go ahead and be kind of thorough here. In the beginning of Zooter Seeds, you're gonna tend to be more thorough. Ooh, see, because you're gonna need more items to finish the game, so we want to keep kind of being thorough for a while here until we're completely have everything. This would probably be a spot where I would ask for some donations. Sometimes going through areas are a little tedious. This is kind of one of them. There's not really much to talk about. So we got another hint there that Kakariko is Path of Light, which means that something in Kakariko Village is going to lead us to our light medallion. We're able to, in Temple of Time, check the pedestal and learn which dungeons have which dungeon rewards. Rando does also randomize dungeon rewards. So, for example, when I beat Deku Tree, I probably won't get the emerald like you normally do in Deku Tree. I'll probably get something else. So, those are all randomized. Also to note, other things that are randomized, as you probably noticed, are our background music, our sound effects, the tunic colors, the colors of the buttons. So you'll see like my C buttons are kind of weird colors too. Those are all just like cosmetic stuff. You don't have to have that randomized when you play a Zooter, but I think it's fun to mix it all up. It's part of the experience for me, but if you prefer your plain Jane colors, you can go ahead and use those too. I know some people find it distracting to have random music, which I completely understand that feeling. You also might be wondering, Nukes, why are you not reading the hint stones in these grottos? You said that the stones are really important. They give valuable information. Under these settings, under these settings, those do not give any information, the ones in the grottos, so we will not be checking any in the grottos. But the ones around the world are important, like this one. Ravage Village, so that's the one that, the song check you get from beating the dungeons that give you the Forest Medallion, Fire Medallion, Water Medallion. So that being Sun Song means we probably won't need that song. That only really locks one check, which is nice. Sun Song can be useful, but it's definitely not a song that kind of blocks you from doing things like ZL would, or potentially Requiem would do. So this is pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with the amount of items we're getting right off the bat here. Gives me a lot of freedom in the seed, which is what you like to see. Pushing us towards quite a few areas. As I said, we're already going to be at 20 minutes in about. We're going to be heading into the Deku Tree, finishing doing our first dungeon here right off the bat, which is really nice. Okay, I wasn't sure where the boulder was. I thought we might meet our doom. I am gonna have to real quick just pop in my menu here. We do have to have those equipped. If they're not equipped, Mido will be like, actually you need the Kokiri sword. And he won't let us pass, but now he'll see, oh, wait, you do have the Kokiri sword. As I said, some skips and stuff are allowed. We are not allowed to skip Mido if he is here. That is a setting you can turn off though. But in the Blitz settings, we do require the Kokiri sword. Different races and stuff are gonna have different rule sets. That's the nice thing about Zooter though, is it's very, very customizable. So if you're playing this on your own at home, or you want to try out Zooter settings, you have a lot of freedom with your settings, and you can make it as difficult as you like, or you can keep it more chill, depending on, your skill level or what kind of challenge you might want. We did just get a hint there that said Goron City is foolish, which is kind of a really nice hint to know that there's going to be nothing useful in Goron City. Goron City is one of those places that has a lot of checks, and different checks for both adult and child, so we won't have to worry about dipping over there. Also, Wasteland. There's one check in the Wasteland. We know that's dead, so that's nice. You need fire and magic to get that check, so knowing that that's nothing. It's also a check that's a little out of the way sometimes, so that's pretty nice. Getting into Deku Tree here really early is nice because there's just a lot of checks in here. I wouldn't be surprised if this gave us some type of item in here. But the seed has given us quite a bit of items already. After we're done here, we'll probably head out to Dodongo's Cavern so that we can get our second dungeon completed already. All we need are the bombs to beat that, so be very, very nice. Oops. To note for GDQ, there's a lot of fun incentives we could do for this. Something that I like to play a lot with, and I know that my community actually really likes this, is there's a couple different settings you can do to make more checks in the game. And one I use a lot is cow sanity. Oops. sir. So in the game, he does not want to be nice. In the game, there are several different cow locations. Normally in vanilla Ocarina of Time, if you find these cows and you play Epona song for them, they fill up one of your bottles with milk. Very, very kind of them. If we turn on cow sanity and we play Epona songs for the cows, they will give us items. So cow sanity is one of those things that I have found to be, it doesn't really affect the game too much time-wise, but it just like, it's fun to have to run around Hyrule and sing for the cows. Alright, we got a wallet. Wallet's not too bad. A wallet will buy us a Goron tunic, which makes places like the Fire Temple a lot more doable. Sorry, I keep drinking my tea. Alright, neat little thing here is we're gonna break our stick there, grab the skull token, and if I needed to, I could fight that Deku Baba down there and get some more Deku nuts, but I have full Deku nuts right now, so I'm not gonna do that, but that's just like a little thing. You're gonna hear me talk about more and more about how useful Deku nuts are in this game that people just don't realize if they played casually. I'm sure a lot of us had that experience as kids where, oh no, where we played Ocarina of Time, got the Deku nuts in the beginning, and we're like, these are useless, and never used them. So often I've had people just kind of shocked how useful they actually end up being. We're gonna do something over here, set up what we call flame storage. Oops. Which involves closing our stick there. I don't know if I got it. But that should store that flame for the next time I bring up my stick. Here we're gonna do a nice skip that passes this whole back area down here. Basement 1 skip. We do a little setup here. Hopefully I get it first try. Oh! He should have grabbed that. Okay, well, we'll get it second try. Basically, we line up on the we line up on the wall here. I just realized I don't need to do that though. We're gonna do a ground jump instead. That's easier. I was hoping to show that off, but ground jump is a bit easier. So if I don't have bombs, I can do that whole fancy setup. He should have grabbed that ledge there. I must have been a little off, but ground jumps are a bit easier, and you just use your bombs and your shield to do a little setup there. Let's Link jump up and grab ledges that he normally can't grab. As you saw, I pulled out that that stick and I had that flame stored on it, so I didn't have to push the block that you normally would have to push there to run and grab a flame from the torch. Okay, so this fight is going to demonstrate how useful Deku nuts are. I think a lot of people, when you fight Goma, you're going to use your slingshot. I don't have a slingshot, so we're just going to use a Deku nut to stun her and stab her real quick. Whoops. Did not get the quick cycle. But that's okay, because again, she's just going to climb up here. She's going to drop some eggs that normally hatch into little baby Gomas. But we're just literally going to use a Deku nut and destroy them all. Yep. Alright, so then we just have to get one more hit on her here and done. That could have gone a little smoother, but it is pretty precise, the rhythm you have to do to get it with a one cycle. So it's not unusual to fail that. And not a big deal either. A boomerang! That is a useful item. We get Gerudo's letter. Alright, let's see what we win here. Alright, so I know I said earlier we probably won't get a Kokiri Emerald since the items are shuffled, but the game just wanted to be like, oh really? So that's okay. We are going to real quick. So my next kind of point of action is going to be to head to Dodongo's Cavern. Before that, I'm gonna go ahead. Again, we're missing quite a lot of items to still be able to finish our seed. So I'm gonna go get some additional checks. We got some checks down here in South Hyrule, checks in Lake Hylia, check in Gerudo Valley. So we're gonna go around here and get all these checks real quick before we make our way out to Dodongo's Cavern. This would probably also be a good spot where I'd ask for donation readings. Since we're just going to be doing a lot of back walking around Hyrule Field right now and checking things. Should be pretty chill unless we get an item. Nothing there, but we do appreciate more health. Some of the dungeons here are a little more cruel when it comes to damage taken from enemies, so having some buffer is never a bad thing. Much rather see a piece of heart than a blue rupee. Or anything that we consider a junk item like bombs or arrows. Or a recovery heart. That's not super exciting. You'll see me doing a lot of back walking. That's kind of our main way around in Zooters. If you're familiar with Ocarina of Time speedrunning at all, you know that back walking is typically the fastest way to travel in Ocarina of Time. General rule of thumb is if it's a straight line and it's going to be 5 rolls or more to do that straight line, it's faster to back walk. Otherwise, rolling is preferred. So especially when we're going around Hyrule Field here, you're going to see me doing a lot of back walking. Basically setting up with a Z target to get my straight line in a way I want it to be. Doing some readjusting and going. Typically, in the beginning of any Ocarina of Time random, we're going to be doing a lot of just going around and checking checks. You're pretty much trying to check what we call these Sphere Zero locations. Sphere Zero is what are any checks you can get with no items in the beginning of the game. So, some of these checks are Sphere Zero. The 2 that I'm about to get right now in Gerudo Valley are. Some are not, like the grottos that we needed bombs to get into back there. Since we need bombs to get in there, you don't have bombs at the beginning of the game, so those are going to be in a later sphere, but Sphere Zero checks are pretty valuable because you know that the game expects you to have nothing to get to them. Here we're going to take this Kuko over. There is a check in that waterfall. As I'm flying with the Kuko, I'm using a Z target. That's going to let me be able to peek and see what's in the waterfall, so if it's useless, I won't have to go in there. It has a Zora tunic. I'm actually going to opt to take that. That could if I need to go into the water temple, that could be useful. That could save me the pain of worrying about Link drowning while moving around in the water temple, so it doesn't cost me a lot of time to go get this, and it could save me later on in the run. We're also gonna pop here real quick to check another gossip stone. Again, they give very valuable information, so definitely want to get those when I can. Alright, that told me that out in the desert is Song of Time, so I know there's not a super important song up there. There's also another cow here, if we did cow sanity. That would be another check here, but that is not turned on in the settings, and I also do not have Epona to check there, so not very useful right now. Alright, we're almost done checking some of these checks before we go to our next dungeons. Kind of the last area here. Ice Cavern has a... Oh, there is that... Okay. There is that important hint there about our magic, so we will not have to be running around wondering at any point, where's my magic? Because now we know, okay, if we go to the Ice Cavern, we'll be able to find one there. So that's very, very good information that we found. Again, peeking at that check. We're gonna go over here, talk to our buddy Pierre. Pierre's a little bit annoying. You have to visit him as a child, and you have to visit him as an adult then, and play the same song in order to use him. Sometimes he can block your progress in the Fire Temple. He also leads to a couple checks, so it's good to try to route him in at some point. Alright. Grab it. Something else that's a little different with Zooters are these fish are supposed to be easier to get, but sometimes they're still a little bit of a pain. Alright, come on. Come on, fishy fishy. He grabbed it kind of like in the worst position there. Typically you try to lure the fish closer to you, but he hooked on right away there. So I didn't have much of a choice, unfortunately. Alright. One last thing I'm gonna do here. There are 2 hint stones in the back of Lake Hylia. Since I have Prelude and don't have to worry about my location necessarily, we're gonna go ahead and go check these, and then we'll use Prelude to go adult. Yo, Critical Onion, thank you for the Prime Gaming. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So some of you might be wondering, Nukes, I thought you were going to Dodongo's Cavern. Why are you gonna play Prelude and go adult? So in Ocarina of Time Randomizer, we have access to Dodongo's Cavern as an adult, and you're actually going to get to see that being an adult in Dodongo's Cavern is very, very, very advantageous. I don't remember the last time I've gone there as a child, because there's pretty much not really any reason to do that. Check this real quick. Hello? Oh, Gerudo Training Grounds is Path of Forest. Okay, that's a very interesting hint. GTG Forest. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have a way out to Gerudo Training Grounds at this moment, so isn't super helpful, but that is good information to know. I'm probably going to go ahead and check my pedestal once we go adult here. That way I know what dungeon GTG, Gerudo Training Grounds, leads to. Also, we got the hint that Kakariko is Path of Light Medallion. So I wanted to check and see what that one is too. That might just be like Dodongo's Cavern. Nope. Okay, we'll get this info real quick. That's Jabu. Oops, I didn't read. Okay, well, what we can do actually. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm gonna go in here, check. Okay, that's Spirit. Okay, water. Fire is fire. Forest. Okay. It's good to just get those checks because leads us to know where we need to go. So Kakariko's Path of Jabu. Yeah. Okay. There's some checks still. That could be our Rudo's letter over there. Kokiri Sword did lead us to Kokiri Sword did lead us to our I'm blanking right now. It led us to our boomerang, sorry. However, we know that I think Kokiri Sword I found in the graveyard, so I'm a little mixed up right now. I don't want to wait for time of day. I'm a little mixed up right now. I'm trying to remember. I think I got, you know what? I'm going to wait for time of day real quick and we'll talk about this real quick. If I'm not mistaken, my Kokiri Sword was in the graveyard in my shield grave. So if that was true, then that means there is probably Rudo's letter or an item that leads to Rudo's letter in Kakariko. I want it to be daytime because there are certain checks I cannot get in Kakariko without it being daytime right now. So I wanted to wait for that time of day real quick. We do know that Anju's chickens was nothing, so that at least takes care of one check. This is very nice because we do have, I feel like, quite a lot of freedom right now with where we can go. Again, so how other, like, the standard settings for Zooters are, you normally are going to complete 6 dungeons, or sorry, not 6 dungeons, you're going to complete 6 medallions to spawn the bridge to Ganon. Blitz Settings instead is 5 dungeons completed. So that means that normally in the other settings, doing the Deku Tree there wouldn't have gotten us closer to Ganon really, but sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. Damn it. Sorry, dang it. I'm gonna concentrate here. Okay, sorry. If I'm talking during that, it's hard for me to fully concentrate there. Alright, so the only things I'm missing here would be 10 and 20 and 30 skulls, so those could potentially be our Rudo's letter, or I could just be mistaken and Kokiri's sword was where Impa's cow was, which I'm starting to wonder if that was true. But that's okay. It was good to check those checks anyways. We're still missing a lot of items. So we're just going to keep going. Gonna grab some more skulls as we go on here. still have quite a lot available to us. Which is nice. And here we're going forward just so I can peek up there, which is just some arrows. Now we're gonna go do Dodongo's Cavern. So as I mentioned earlier, Dodongo's Cavern, as an adult, cuts out a lot of the dungeon. And you'll see that right away in the beginning here, actually. No hide. First of all, there's a hint stone back here, and I want that information, so there's definitely another barren hint still out there. Death Mountain Trail is foolish. There we go. So that's good info actually right now, so we know I don't have to check all the checks here in Death Mountain Trail afterwards. So right there, normally you have to go around this whole back area to get to that switch to open that door. But because we are a grown-up, we are tall enough to just grab onto that ledge and continue on our merry way, which you could not do as a child because you're too short. So that cuts out a lot right there. You're gonna see another instance of that later. Gonna go ahead here. Gotta plant 2 bombs. We like to break that door in the back first, so that way we can get right to the next door that we need to go into first. If I bomb the other ones, I won't be able to move back here during the cutscene, so it just kind of puts us in a little bit of a better position. Doesn't save too much time, but every little time save is nice. And we also will do backflipping up these stairs, again, just faster than trying to climb up. I usually grab right here, there's a red rupee. Just some easy money to grab. Money can be very useful. As I said, we're going to want to buy a Goron tunic probably at some point, so getting that extra 20 there could help us later on with buying that Goron tunic, which we'll probably be buying soon. Another puzzle room that is helped by Link being grown-up size, and normally you have to move one of those statues out of the way, and moving the statues is pretty slow, honestly. So Child Link would have to move a statue to climb up a ladder. We just grab the ledge because we're tall enough. Here you're gonna see, again, we're gonna skip through a bunch of stuff because we're an adult. First we're gonna grab this. No biggie. But normally you go through this whole back area where you need a slingshot to turn off flames and go through this whole puzzle mess. We're just gonna roll towards this corner here, grab the ledge, and skip that whole area. Shoutouts to being tall. Getting a lot of health here. Nothing super useful right now, but the game did front load us with a lot of items, so I'm not too surprised, to be honest. Go ahead and drop the bombs there. You might note that I didn't hit the switch over there. That just saves a little bit of time. We don't have to watch the cutscene of hitting that button and activating the platform to rise all the way up. The only reason you'd want that activated is, one, if you come through here without one way to get that wall. Like maybe you come through here with just a Goron bracelet. So you can do most of this dungeon with a Goron bracelet if you're checking checks, but you can't blow up that wall with a Goron bracelet, so you might need to hit that button so you can go up there later. You also could hit that button to go get Skulltula. Maybe you know your seed requires a lot of skull tokens, that might be a check you want to do. Or that might be a skull you want to grab. So there are scenarios where you want that, but not always needed. Geese are very, very rude. Alright, so now we also get to fight King Dodongo as an adult. Normally it's a 3 cycle, but since we're an adult and we have a Master Sword, it's only gonna take 2 cycles. After this, we'll go up to, we're gonna go out to the Death Mountain Crater area and get some checks. We do know that Goron City and Death Mountain Trail are both barren, so we're gonna get to skip a lot of checks. I will have to get 1 check in Goron City. Link the Goron is required to open up the doors to get into Death Mountain Crater. So we do have to check him, but otherwise we won't have to do much. I also would like to get the money to buy a Goron tunic. That's not really a big priority right now, and I'll probably lay off on that for a little bit. So I don't have to spend the time farming rupees. Sometimes you'll see in Goron City, we will farm rupees. There's a vase in there that has 20 rupees. But since that's not really necessary right now, I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so we're skipping all this. If I had a hook shot or hover boots, I could just play Bolero of Fire to go out to Death Mountain Crater. However, it would isolate me in a spot away from the checks, which is not what I want to do right now. Something that you'll see a lot of players do here is we kill this Skulltula. Whoops, oops. Okay, I messed that up, but we're gonna shoot the bomb flower. Oh my gosh! Well, that was just a series of unfortunate events. I panicked. So normally you're gonna come over here, slash that token, shoot the bomb flower from over here to stop the Goron. We'll do it again just for funs, but that unfortunately didn't work out as planned. That's kind of more how that's supposed to look. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Oh my goodness, Link. Alright, we're on the struggle bus a little bit there. No biggie. It didn't hurt us too much. Alright, we know he's not gonna give us anything, but we have to talk to him anyways, so that he'll open the doors for us. At least he gave us a heart piece and not a junk item. Like a bloopy or some bombs. I am actually going to go into here real quick and buy some bombs. I only have 8 bombs right now, so refilling my bombs is not a bad idea. We will buy a Goron tunic later. Right now it's not a priority. I will grab real quick. This is the vase that will sometimes farm. I'm gonna grab that just since I'm here. But again, not a big deal. I just saw up on the top of the crater is a piece of heart, so I know I won't have to grab that at any point. There is a neat way. So the game wants you to plant a bean over there to get that item, but if you have hover boots, you can just go over there. So that could be something I could show off in the run for Flame Fatales, but not always needed and not needed in this seed. Alright, bundle of arrows. So that's useless. Gonna go over here. Fall down. That's just a bloopy. I am gonna play Bolero now though, so we can get that song check. There's a couple more song checks I still have out there. The Composer Grave in the Graveyard, and the Minuet check we can go out to. Well, that's convenient. Alright, Nocturne Nocturne! Nocturne is an important song if you want to get to Shadow Temple. You cannot get into Shadow Temple without that song, so good to have that. Also just nice for travel too if you want to get out to Kakariko. I'm gonna pop into Fire Temple real quick. I know I said that this could be a little difficult without all our health, but we should be able to make it manageable. But since we don't have a hammer, we also might get locked out of here pretty quickly. But it doesn't hurt to at least prep this dungeon. The only thing that we need to beat this dungeon is Megaton Hammer and the boss key, so if I can make some progress in here right now, it's not too horrible. After this, we're gonna use our other songs to go get more songs, and I would like to see Requiem soon, since we have silver gauntlets. That gets us into Spirit Temple. Spirit Temple, we can start prepping, beating that, and there's a lot of checks in there as well. Something, I know I keep using this term, prepping dungeons. Sometimes if you can get into a dungeon that you can't complete, but you know, like, you know, especially for 5 dungeon, you know you'll probably be doing it. It's not a bad idea to pop in the dungeons and start doing them. You could get a required item that way, but if you don't, you know, at least you started doing a dungeon so that when you come back to it at a later time when you have the items needed to progress more, you've already done a chunk and you can just go further. So it's not a bad idea to ever do that, I'd say. See, we need another key. Okay. So this is where the fire tunic you might want. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll have enough time to get up there because I don't have a hook shot. The timer here is going to be very tight. I'm going to attempt it. If we don't make it, we'll come back later. It's not a big deal. This is kind of the part of the run where it's like you need a lot of health or you need that fire tunic, and if you don't have it, this is okay, well we definitely shoot. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna go get the songs instead. It's not a big deal. I didn't think I'd have the health anyways to get there. Alright, so we got Eponas, which that's an interesting song because that gives us access out to Gerudo Training Grounds, which we know is Path of Forest. We don't have a hook shot, so doing Gerudo Training Grounds without a hook shot is a little weird. I am gonna pop in here real quick and get this song. Depending on what this is, I'm likely gonna go ahead and just go out to Gerudo Training Grounds after this, but It is very weird to go out there without hook shot, but I do have strats to get around there without a hook shot, and we do have a bow and silvers. So, like, it wouldn't be the worst to go out there. Especially since we know that GTG is past the Forest Medallion. So we'll know that going out there will help us complete a dungeon. Alright. We're gonna go out to... We're gonna use that warp song. This will just kind of get us closer to Gerudo Training Grounds. It's definitely gonna be a little weird here going to Gerudo Training Grounds without a hook shot, but not the worst. Get Epona out here. So kind of the one weird thing here right now is, so when you go out to Gerudo Fortress, and you haven't, you know, when you first go out there, you get captured by the Gerudo guards. They throw you in a dungeon, and you need a hook shot to get out of there. And you have to kind of like sneak out. We don't have a hook shot. So if we can't get thrown into prison. They'll actually, since you don't have a hook shot, they'll flag that you don't have a hook shot and they'll just throw you outside into Gerudo Valley. But we don't want that either because we need to get into Gerudo Training Grounds. Thankfully, if you go into Gerudo Fortress at nighttime, which we'll be doing here, the Gerudo guards have very low vision. So you can actually just walk right past them pretty easily, which you'll see me do coming up here. Alright, so we're going to take our horse right here. Thank you, Epona. And we're just going to, you know, hey ladies. Easy. So this is another fight, actually. You'll see me use Deku Nuts in. If you throw the Deku Nuts at like the 3 o'clock spot, it will stun her. Which just makes this fight easier. So we don't have to worry about her as much. Quickening that up. We like to do that fight with a hook shot because there's a strat with the torch there. If you go behind the torch and hook shot the top of the flame, her body will get stuck in the torch and you can just do a bunch of power crouch stabs very, very fast and kill her super fast. But obviously we don't have a hook shot right now, so that wasn't an option. Reminder, we did find a hint stone that said Gerudo Fortress is foolish / barren, which means there's no items here, so we will not be checking the chest on the top of the fortress, and we will not be checking the horseback archery checks, since we know those will be a waste of time. Alright, interesting to see what we find in here. So Gerudo Training Grounds is a great example of what I said earlier about seeds will never soft lock you out of an item. So if you, so the center of GTG is a good example of that. You need, there's 2 directions you can go in the center. One requires 2 keys to get 2 checks, or Song of Time, which we don't have. And the other requires a series of keys for a series of checks to get to the center of the maze. However, you could use your keys incorrectly and lock your, like say you use your 2 keys on the right side, and then you needed to get into the center for an item. Well, the game is gonna make sure that you can get all the keys so that you don't lock yourself out of there. So you'll never be in a position where you can't progress the game because you misused your keys. Uh-oh. 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 We gotta be a little bit careful here. Oh, we gotta be a little bit careful here! I'm trying to get him to get in a position so I can use my nut and be safe. Please. I don't want to die. Let's see. I'm taking too much time. We're gonna die anyways! Oh! Okay. Hey! Okay, there's our mirror shield. That's our okay. So that's what the game wanted us to have. I'm gonna go ahead real quick. I know this might seem weird. I'm gonna take a death there. Just so we can refill our hearts. So at this point, if I was doing this competitively, I'd probably just go ahead and start heading out to Spirit Temple. For marathon's sake, I actually want to try to show off doing this hook shot list. It is a little finicky, so I hope we get this first try. If we don't, I'm going to just head over to the Spirit Temple, but I wanted to at least attempt it. Sometimes we'll miss this. So essentially in this room, you have to get all these silver rupees to unlock a check. However, there is one that you may have saw that requires a hook shot to grab, which I'll point out again. Oops, sorry. Point out over here. So that one right there. However, there are floor masters in this room that grab you. So essentially what we do here is we're gonna position ourselves so that we're below the silver rupee. But there's like a certain point where the floor master won't come out. Try to get as close as possible. And I got it. So you have to position yourself in a way there that the floor master grabs you, and as he's pulling you up, it gets the final silver rupee. So now we'll come into this room and it'll be saved in a way that we got all the silver rupees and completed it. This is a little bit of a trickier part with the few hearts I have, and I might actually die here. We have to, now there's this flame here, and normally you need a hook shot to hook shot up there. But we can actually side hop over this flame. Unfortunately, I don't have really a consistent way to do this, so we might not be able to do it without dying. It would be nicer to have more health in this scenario, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it, unfortunately. Yeah. We'll try it again. We'll try it one more time. It's just unfortunate that I don't have more health right now. That's a trick that I usually have to just keep side hopping there, to get to work. It's essentially how it works is there's like a certain angle that you can put yourself in that you can get enough speed to get over that flame wall without it popping up and smacking you. It's just not super consistent. I might need to look into. I think there could be a setup for this one that I just unfortunately don't know. And I'm sad that I can't get this. I really wanted to show this off and I'm not able to get this to work here. This is really unfortunate. Oh, man. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time because we did this one more time and then we'll continue on. If I had more health, this would be, you know what actually we'll do? We'll go ahead and get a check in here and see if it gives me health. I really want to show, I think this is like a neat thing to show people that you can do this. I don't know why I can't get that set up right now. Alright, one of these has got to be a piece of heart, right? Piece of heart would refill our health. Nope, that didn't help us. Shoot. Okay. This might actually work. Last time I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if using Nehru's love maybe helps make it easier. If it doesn't, we'll just leave it. This is something I'm gonna have to look into before Flame Fatales and see if there's a consistent setup for it. I don't have magic, never mind. I really wanted to show this off and I'm sorry that I couldn't get it. I don't want to waste too much time doing this, especially since it's not necessary. Please, Link. If I had more health for the setup, this would be... Yeah. This is a health issue and a not knowing a setup issue. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Carry on. I apologize that I couldn't make that work. Again, it's just... Maybe we can come back later. That being said, we are going to do something else that's pretty neat here, which is going through the desert without a logical way to get across the desert and without a lens and without magic. So normally the game expects you to have either one, it expects you to have hovers or a long shot to get across the quicksand in the beginning. Additionally, it expects you to have Lens of Truth and magic so that you can see your way through the desert by following a Poe who guides you so that you don't void out. The Haunted Wasteland is full of voids. So this is the quicksand. Normally you need hovers or a long shot to get through. We're going to use a trick where we build up speed. Whoops. That was a mistake. We're going to build up speed to back walk across it and then side hop to get us into the into it without voiding out. Man, I really need health right now. I really need health. I really need health. I'm gonna go get health real quick for safety. We're just, oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm trying to show off all these cool things, but I need health to do them. I believe we can break pots in here to get some health. Now would be a good time for donations if we had donations. I also will have somebody here doing commentary with me during the run. We're gonna take the time to. This is just really unfortunate that we don't have any health here or any way to fill up our health. The game has given us so much, and yet we're being extremely blocked right now by our health. The big issue with not having health going through the desert is we could die to levers really easily. The levers are just really annoying out there, especially at night when I can't see anything. And the fact that I kept voiding out in the beginning trying to set up the skip did not help our cause. Here I am, just trying to, I just want to show y'all some cool stuff in Ocarina of Time Rando. And the seed is like, no. Well, I big apologize for that. But at least now we have some health. So hopefully we don't have issues now with this. Flame Fatales will be taking place between August 15th and 21st. This is just a submission video, so my run might not even be accepted, but alright, there we go. So we did the trick there to get through the wasteland, so that's step 1. Now step 2 is we have to get through the wasteland without walking into any voids and voiding out. If we void out, it puts us back where we were. This basically is done by memorizing where the void out zones are. So when you've done this enough, you kind of learn and see like where some you look for certain markings in the sand and stuff. So part 1 is just following those flag posts very easily. Part 2, this is the part where normally you have a Poe to follow. I am going to concentrate here. That's the thing that really stinks about this, is if you void out, you have to do that all again. Typically, this is easier during the daytime, but unfortunately, the seed has led us to come out here during nighttime. Hopefully this is all worth it. There is a great possibility that we just are doing this for nothing just because of the nature of Ocarina of Time Randomizer, but again, I really wanted to showcase some neat tricks for Flame Fatales, so it's just unfortunate that some of these things haven't worked out as well as we would have liked them to today. Those are the levers that end up killing us. Alright, I'm just gonna look out for... Right, those flagpoles, and then we go straight in there. Alright. Second try. Normally I'm able to get that first try, but not too big of a deal. But yeah, that's this wasteland. That's kind of one of the big things that a lot of Ocarina of Time Randomizer players will learn how to do. That way you can get out to the Spirit Temple without needing either Requiem or a lot of items to get out here. Alright, check this fairy fountain. So now we can check a lot of stuff, and we can get into Spirit Temple. Hopefully we don't get locked out right away. That is also a possibility. And if we did, then kind of means we did this all for nothing, unfortunately. Sometimes rando gonna rando, but hoping this works out. We do know the only song we're gonna get out here is Song of Time, so that's unfortunate. I'd say in a normal rando you wouldn't prioritize doing this, but I really wanted to do it for GDQ. Alright, those are just arrows up there. Normally you have to plant a bean to get that. Okay. So, I need all the good luck emotes in chat. We need some encouragement that we get a small key here. If this check does not give us a small key, we are locked out, unfortunately. And we'll have to go do other things in the seed. After this, I probably am gonna go back child. We have Zora's River to check. We can plant the bean down in Lake Hylia, so we can do adult Lake Hylia stuff. We have skulls to get. Oh, I'm actually gonna grab this skull over here. I'm gonna start prioritizing that because I still want to get the 10 and 20 skull check just in case. Hopefully this check pays off for us, though. We did a lot of work to get out of here, and I would love to see it pay off. Yay! Okay, all right. That is very, very good. Thank goodness. Without that key, we would not have been able to do any more of Spirit Temple. So that is really, really good. Now that doesn't mean that being here will pay off, but we at least will get more out of being here. Which is very good. You'll want to see that. Now, if we could find a hook shot in here, that would be even better. 'Cause that's really the only thing we're missing from being able to beat... Oops, I forgot to push this all the way. That's the only thing we're missing from being able to beat this entirely. However, we will be able to use some neat tricks in here to... Uh-oh! That stinks. That really stinks. That should have worked. I was just angled a little off, unfortunately. Okay, the game's gonna give us a hook shot. We'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, can you please get out of the way? Guys are annoying. Okay. I just want to get the Skulltula, for goodness sakes. Okay. So after this, there is, a check in the middle of the main floor that normally you need some type of flame source and magic to get. We don't have either of those. So what we're gonna do is pull up this statue to the top of the stairs so we can get this check. I mentioned this earlier. As you can see, pushing up the statue is very tedious. Very, very heavy statue for Link to be pushing up. Well, this is a neat strat. Just if you don't have the items and you're here, you can just get an extra check. Which could pay off ultimately. This could be our hook shot. You don't know. You don't know. After this, I will have to save quit to get to the next area because I don't have a hook shot to get back to the other side, unfortunately. So we'll have to save quit to get to the start of the dungeon again, but... Okay, and at the end of the day, we are prepping this dungeon, so if we have to come back here, hopefully we get the boss key right now and get all the keys we need. And it's just a quick thing. Unfortunately, I didn't land on the hand on the other side, so now I can't get the chest that normally spawns on the hand there. Which is a little unfortunate, but... Alright, I have to place this in a certain way. I think that should work. We backflip on top, and essentially we're going to use this flame to shoot and light up those two flames. Just like that. Go ahead and check this chest here, and it is a hook shot. Yeah? No. That could have been. But just like a neat little strat to show off. That's a lot of Zooter is just like utilizing the items you have and your surroundings to be able to do as many checks as you can. Because the more checks you can do, the more, you know, the more likely you're gonna get through your seed faster. And that way you don't have to come back and do things again. Alright, I do have to make this climb up one more time. There is the other side of GTG I have to check, which has quite a few checks. So we definitely want to go get that all done here. Hopefully it pays off. If not, we're gonna go back child. Start doing some other stuff. Are quite a few checks though we can do over here. We've gotten a lot of keys, and we know there's one. We did get a hint that there is oops, there is a key on the right hand of Colossus, which is the child side on Iron Knuckles. So it's good that we're finding some key locations up front, I guess, in a way, because now that means there's gonna be more and more items as we go on in here. Alright, so that is how we beat that room. You have to get all of them into the flames. It's nice coming in there with like fire arrows or something, but we don't have that, so that's okay. So we're gonna grab... We got... Whoop, more and more checks in here. 5. I need to go back and try to get that other check, so 5 if you count that. Very unfortunate none of this is paying off. But that's randomizer for you. Sometimes you make plays that are a little risky. In this case, I made a play that was risky because, you know, I wanted to show off some stuff. And unfortunately it didn't work out. Yeah, we're not getting anything good, unfortunately. This room you're gonna see a neat strat with the Iron Knuckles here. So once we get him out of his chair, we're gonna go stand at his left foot and use power crouch stabs. Power crouch stabs are, so basically this attack here, the devs gave it 0 damage value. So it just stores whatever the last damage value was that you used. In all cases, using a jump slash is going to give you the most damage value. So we use a jump slash to store that damage value, and then we just stab real quickly. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. We're going to go get one more check in here. Really stinks that it didn't pay off, but that's okay. As I said, at the very least, we've kind of prepped this area, so if we come back out here later, once we get a hook shot, hopefully we can beat it pretty quickly. We don't have Requiem, which unfortunately is kind of the song you want here, but okay. I'm gonna do this again. There we go, that's what should have happened the first time. Alright, this is one more check we can get. And then we'll have to go back. We're gonna go back child after this and get some checks that I've had access to for a while. Got a little sidetracked in here trying to show off some neat strats. To note, in the form of a marathon, I'm probably not gonna go this far out, but I thought it was important, at least in the submission, to show, like, oh my gosh, all the things you can do. Okay. I need something to pay off at this point. Nope, of course not. I need something. My goodness. Okay, we're gonna go back child. There's quite a few checks we can get as child that have been available to us. Just looking over my notes again to make sure I have everything in my head correctly. Alright. So, to note, we have not actually checked what our child save and quit location is, where our spawn point is, so that is something I'll probably check soon. I do want to check here. There's a fairy fountain out here. We have to check Richard the dog still. And, there's some hint stones out here. There's a skull, so there's a lot for us to gather out here. It's funny how this seed started off very front heavy and then we've come to a halt. It's always exciting when you get a lot of items in the beginning and then you can run into just nothing for a long period of time, unfortunately. It's kind of the way it is, though. We will find something soon. I have a feeling that since we went and we did a bunch of stuff that was technically out of logic since we didn't have the items to do it, but we could still perform those tasks. There's probably some valuable stuff back here that we missed. Because as I said, the game is always going to logically let you finish it, so... no biggie. Read this hint. Nothing useful. Okay. So we're gonna use this time of day here. We're gonna grab our boy Richard the dog, take him home. Then we're gonna use our warp to the graveyard and get Dompe digging, which is a check you can only do right at the beginning of nighttime, which we should still be in that window of time, thankfully. Dang. And then we're gonna collect some more Skulltulas, and we're gonna, at the very least, we have 10 Skulltulas, so we'll check that. We're gonna get something soon. I really hope it's our hook shot. The ever elusive hook shot has been hurting us tonight. But we do have a couple dungeons started prepped now. We have a lot of areas checked. We just have to, you know, gotta keep going. Alright, so we can grab quite a few Skulltulas here. It's not gonna be enough to get me the 20 quite yet. We're gonna start towards that 20 count. We'll probably go ahead and check 10 while we're here. And once we get 20, we can return, but if 10 has something valuable, it's better to know that now. Nope, that's not valuable because we know Death Mountain Trail is dead, and that is the Goron claim check, which is a Death Mountain Trail check. So unfortunately, we know that that is nothing valuable. But I am going to still go ahead here and grab some checks. Grab some skulls. Start getting those ready. So we'll have 15 leaving here. We're going to head up the Zora River We can go into Zora's domain. Get some checks in there. We're gonna turn... Oh, no, we know that Skull Mask is dead, so I'm not gonna check that. It's a lot of information to keep straight in your head when you're doing this. Alright, we gotta find a payoff soon. Come on, Link. We also can buy beans here. We know that pretty much all the bean checks are dead. The only other one would be at Lake Hylia. There is a bean you can plant that if you don't have a hook shot, there's 2 checks you can get there. Adult fishing gallery on top of the lab in Lake Hylia, if you plant a bean. Sometimes you'll find your first hook shot up there, so like, it's not a bad idea to just, you know, at least grab the bean in case you end up needing to plant it. So at this point in time, my plan of attack is to check this area, check, go ahead and check Zora's domain. First, being thorough again, trying to find some good juicy items. Ideally our hook shot. Hook shot would be huge. Gerudo's letter also gives us a dungeon, so like that wouldn't be bad. Megaton hammer lets us finish a dungeon, so that also wouldn't be bad. Just kind of scouring the land right now. That also is our money to buy our Goron tunic. Which I'd hate to see if that was our progression here, but because unfortunately we just didn't have the health when we were in there, and I didn't have the money to buy a tunic, so I didn't want to farm for a tunic. And again, rando gonna rando sometimes. We have one more item to check up here, which is the red rupee. So normally to get into Zora's domain, you play ZL here. There is a way to get in there with a Kuko if you don't have ZL, so I'm going to try to demonstrate this. If I fail it, it's okay. I know you didn't fail it. You have to get in there with like a certain angle and enough speed. But that's no big deal. I was hoping to show that off, but I should have taken more time to show that setup. But we have ZL. It's no big deal. So that is something that we could do, if need be. Two checks in here, and we'll plant the bean down in Lake Hylia. And then we're gonna go back Adult Link. Also another stone here. Fortress, you already knew that. This would be probably a good spot for donations, because this is a little bit of a longer mini game. Isn't too much exciting going on, unfortunately, during it. There is some RNG to note in this minigame where the spread is. Sticks here to light the torches. Alright, give me something good. Give me something good. Give me something good. Give me something good. That's not something good, but thank you very much. Alright, the game needs to pay off at some point here. It always stinks when you feel like you're just like last locationing. Oops, your last locationing items. Alright, we're almost done here. And all our child checks. Pop out here. Planting a bean. It kind of feels, unfortunately, like the game wanted me to go ahead and buy the Goron tunic and go deeper into Fire Temple. It's unfortunate that that happened. Yeah, that's like a really fun setting. I mentioned that before, but Randomizer also randomizes things like the background music, as you can hear. Some of the sound effects, like the noise Navi will make, the noise Epona's makes, are randomized. The color of the hearts, colors of your tunics. All randomized things. Which is pretty neat, I will say. Alright, so we did plant that bean. I'll show you here. Let's do 2 checks. That normally you're gonna need a hook shot to get with Pierre. But this just takes us up to where we need to go. Hello? That's Toucan Sam. He's kind of a jerk. If you don't shoot him down before climbing up here, he'll probably come and dive bomb on you while you're climbing up the ladder and make you fall down. Alright, unfortunately that's nothing. We gotta wait for our bean to come back. Yeah, this is really looking like I just made the wrong call to not commit to Fire Temple. Dang. That's unfortunate. I feel like we've been like an hour with no items, and that's just part of the Zooter experience. He's supposed to grab this. There we go. Game is not cooperating today. It's not cooperating. This is why I try not to get too excited when I get a lot of items early on, because I just know that the seed is gonna be like, not so fast, and completely block us, like it's doing right now. Alright, well, time to go back to Fire Temple, which we should have done earlier. That stinks. I almost guarantee at this point that that was our progress. Oh my gosh. Items I need. Please don't be rude to me, game. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't just use Bolero to get here because again, we don't have a hookshot, we don't have hover boots, and I need to buy the Goron tunic so that I can go through Fire Temple with no issues. Hopefully we get a nice color. Chat, what color do you want to see for their Fire Tunic? It's gotta be a better color than the one we're sporting right now. Oops! I forgot I spent money on horseback archer, or on adult fishing. I was like, I had 200, what happened? I went fishing. Ooh, coral would be nice. Alright, here we go. It is... red! It's actually red. Alright, here we go. Back to where the game probably wanted us to go before we went on a whole journey. I mean, you know, this is a different shade of red than what you normally see in the game, so... I mean, technically... Ooh, one thing we did forget to get while in Lake Hylia was the other half of Pierre's song. Hopefully that doesn't hurt us here. We do need a hook shot anyways to utilize that, so that's probably why I completely forgot to grab it, because we don't have a hook shot, so it wasn't kind of on my mind. Alright, so we're gonna get up here. Oh, Link. Link, what is going on? He did not want to do a side hop there for whatever reason. Link said nope. Geese are jerks. Alright, now we can continue on here. Hopefully it pays off. Here you're gonna see me do again a ground jump. If you missed out what that was earlier, we're gonna drop a bomb, use our shield as a setup here, and this puts Link in a state where he can jump up and grab a ledge. Normally you have to push that block all the way down and position it in a way where you can get up here, but that just cuts that out a little bit. Alright, here we go. Coming up on our checks. Who's willing to put $5 to charity on the line? That the first check here is something very valuable. Here we go. It's a key. Very valuable. I better start hearing those donations coming in. Alright, this is another key, probably. Another key. Sir. Alright, we're gonna find something soon. Please, game. This is one of the songs that really annoys me when going through dungeons, because it's so repetitive. We need some Gerudo Valley music up in here. Boss key. Alright, well that's required to beat here. Doesn't really help me right now, though. Unfortunately, our like next course of action is kind of trying to scout out the skulls we're missing. We're starting to run low on checks here, which never want to see. I'm gonna grab that for extra safety. Game, you really need to give me something here. So that's a neat little thing. We can go ahead and drop that bomb and keep moving through the temple. Some of the bombs in the game, you need to have them in sight. I don't really know what's the, like, triggers for that, but like some things like in Dodongo's Cavern, you have to be able to have the bomb in sight when it explodes, or else it will not go off and activate. But there, that breaks even if it's out of sight. Alright, we have one more check in here. Trying to rack my brain right now for what we're missing. Come on. Okay, we can go further. It's like if that doesn't give me a key or an item, I don't know what we're gonna do. This still doesn't get, this gives me one more check, so that's not very good either. At this point, I think we're having to look for 20 skulls. This has been a series of unfortunate events. Alright. One more check. Is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be some progress? I think I might have to run around and find skulls. Which is kind of crummy. Especially since we don't have Sun Song. Where am I going? I need to go. I'm gonna go child. The game, this has been well over an hour with any progression. We were so excited in the beginning to have all these items, and unfortunately it's kind of led us nowhere. And now we have to go and try to scour out where our bottlenecked progression is. Which is always the worst in Zooter Seeds. Like, the whole thing with these 5 dungeons is you want that freedom to kind of go and check checks everywhere. But when it does this, which we call bottlenecking, where it's like you have one item in one location that blocks your progress from everywhere else in the seed, that's very frustrating. And we've done a lot of extra checks and we've done things out of logic, so it's not like we're not exploring the seed. There's just one thing in particular it wants us to grab that we have not grabbed, unfortunately. Oh, that's weird. That's where our save... I wanted to see where our save bit was. Okay. I was trying to think of where I can go get some. I only need 4 skulls. The big issue with skulls right now is most skulls are only available at night. We don't have a bottle, which helps lead us to a lot of skulls. We don't have a hook shot that leads us to a lot of skulls, but we do have the goods to at least get 4 more skulls. It's just kind of going around and scouring those locations right now, unfortunately. If I had a bottle or if I had a hook shot, this would be easier, and that's why I haven't made... Typically, you're not going to make skulls a priority in this circumstance, but here we are. We definitely have some skulls available. I'm gonna grab this one here. We have 3 in Lon Lon we can grab with our boomerang, so that will be kind of what we do here. We're gonna go down to Lake Hylia. However, to keep my time of day, I'm not gonna grab any of them down here because I need to make sure I get into Lon Lon at night, and I don't have Sun Song, so unfortunately that makes collecting skulls that much more annoying. Did I get that? Okay. Sorry, I've done a couple of seeds today and I'm like trying to remember what I've checked and not. That's the one bad thing about doing multiple seeds. Oh, please tell me I get there before time of day. Oh my gosh, game. Okay, that was really scary. If we missed that time of day cycle and it had turned morning, we would have been not in a good position there, but thankfully we are okay. Alright, so there's 3 Skulltulas here at night. Grab that one there. Trying to rack my brain now, just in case 20 skulls doesn't pay off. I cannot think of any checks that I have not done aside from 20 skulls. I could be mistaken, but Pretty sure we've done all the checks that I have access to. Toucan Sam's family out again. Oh, please. Alright. Here we go. Here we go again. Alright. This has gotta be it. This has gotta pay off. We got so bottlenecked here. This has gotta pay off. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. You hate to see that happen. It's really, for GDQ, we will definitely have the seed vetted, so we do not want a seed for GDQ to be bottlenecked like this. So it's really unfortunate that that has happened. However, we will now be able to make some progress here. We'll be able to go out to Jabu-Jabu, complete that dungeon. We'll be able to go, excuse me, out to Ice Cavern, get our magic out there, and hopefully some other goodies along the way. So this starts opening up things again for us, but as I said, in the case of GDQ, this is just how rando works sometimes. Sometimes you get bottlenecked like that, where there was one check that blocks you from doing the rest of the seed. We will ensure that the seed is vetted and checked out before we do that. Before we do it for Flame Fatales if this gets in. And that way we just won't run into this scenario where we're running around for over an hour trying to find one particular item. Oh, such a big relief to finally find that. It's like extra unfortunate that we went out and did even extra checks and they did not pay off. That being said, though, we'll be able to go do Jabu-Jabu now, which is at least going to be a faster dungeon. We're also in a position where if we get the hook shot, we will be in what we call go mode. Very likely. Not guaranteed, but we should be. Alright, I need to get Gerudo's letter prepped here. And I need to make sure I grab a fish before we come out to the fountain area. Alright. As I said though, at least, so like, one positive is we have some dungeons prepped. So, Spirit Temple, if we end up getting to go out there for one of our dungeons, that's already been mostly completed, so we'll be able to get through that pretty quickly. Same with Fire Temple, if we get Megaton Hammer, we have the boss key, so all we have to do realistically is go into Fire Temple and fight the boss in that scenario. So that'll be a quick dungeon as well. So we're pretty set up for success right here. We just need to find a couple more items. getting hookshot lets us finish Forest Temple as well, so we'd love to see that soon. Really hoping we don't die in here. I don't have much health. So here's another dungeon where we're going to get to see how useful Deku Nuts can be. There's a lot of scenarios in here where we use Deku Nuts to beat enemies pretty quick, finish rooms of enemies very quick. The bubbles are a big one. For safety, I don't know if there's a... Okay. I thought maybe I could break that and get some health. I'm a little nervous about our health right now, but I think we'll be okay. The nice thing is, so there are skulls in here, but we know for a fact that the skulls are... No, we don't. We don't know what 30 has. Okay. I still need to be grabbing skulls. I completely forgot. If this was a race setting, I would probably skip the skulls. However, for a GDQ setting, I don't want to start skipping skulls. We already saw that that hurt me earlier, not having enough skulls. I'd hate for 30 to have something on it. We have not read a hint stone for 30. There is one out there. Hopefully we find one. I'm just being extra careful in here right now. Gerudo is actually useful. We used her to hit that button there, so we don't have to do it ourselves. Thanks, Gerudo, for that. I was hoping those bubbles, someone would drop me some hearts, but they did not. Alright, here we go. Thankfully, later in this dungeon, there is a ferry, so we just need to be careful until we get to the ferry. Of course, there's a possibility that one of these rewards gives us a piece of heart, which would just heal us, so that would be nice to see too. This is probably a dungeon where I'd ask for donations to be read. This dungeon does get a little bit interesting later on, but unfortunately the beginning is kind of running through and just doing all the rooms. Not super exciting, unfortunately. This room might give us some hearts. Really? Where's the other bubble? Game? Okay. It was way up in the air. Normally that room is really fast, as long as all the bubbles are in a spot where I can actually hit them and see them. That would have been nice to have. So you might have noticed we left Gerudo there. She doesn't leave until you talk to her again. You have to talk to her, otherwise she just stays in that spot. Ooh, that was a little scary. Which is nice, so you can go to the other room without having to take the time to pick her up, put her down, pick her up again. Oh wait, I want her. I want her to come with. Okay. Alright. Using the Deku Nuts again on these guys makes this room a bit faster, because it just makes them vulnerable, and they don't have to fly around. You likely, in vanilla, OOT, used a boomerang to kill them all. You know what? I'm gonna drink this. I am going to use that right now just for safety. We'd hate to die here. As much as I like to be in a little risky there and a little spicy, I prefer to not die in a marathon run. Alright, we're almost done with kind of the mundane part of Jabu-Jabu. We'll be getting soon to the point where there's actually some interesting strats, some interesting setups. I do have to say the boss of Jabu-Jabu is probably one of the most interesting if done well. Learning the setups for beating Baronade quickly it's a little precise and a little finicky, but it's probably the most satisfying once you learn it. So I would love to be able to show a nice clean Baronade fight here. Alright, I am gonna go ahead and grab these. Again, I don't know what's the 30 Skull token rewards is, and I'd really hate, after getting bottlenecked by 20 tokens, I'd hate for this to be what stops us again. So far, we have not found anything in here. We do now have access to Ice Cavern, which we're going to go to for sure, since we know our magic is there. And we need magic in order to kill Ganon at the end of the run, so definitely gonna head over there. Hopefully Ice Cavern gives us something, but there's not a lot of items in Ice Cavern. There's only 4 items. 4 items in one song. The song over there is either going to be Requiem or Song of Storms. So it'll be interesting to see what that is. I'm kind of banking on it being Requiem, but yeah, I don't know. This fight's interesting. We go ahead and take that damage there, turns the Octorok around, and then you just jump slash his booty with a Deku Stick, and it one-shot kills him. I am going to grab real quick in here more Deku Nuts. As I said, they're super, super useful here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some more. It's good to have. The more the better. This is such a weird room. Never been a fan of this one. I think that's one of those rooms that I always just like get a little nervous in, like those jellies don't stay stunned very long. Just a little Alright, coming up is gonna be a neat little skip. So in the next room there's a switch. Normally with the switch you have to climb up this big giant vine wall. But we're just gonna throw our boomerang with a setup over here where I'm gonna run over here, stand on a particular spot on the ground, line Link's head up, point all the way up, throw, and side hop. And there we go. Triggered that switch. Easy peasy. Skips the whole vine crawl. Alright, so as I mentioned, Baronade fight, when done well, looks really, really nice. Hoping I can showcase this for you guys. We're going to be trying to use the Deku Nuts to kill, basically group up all the jellies that come off of Baronade, and kill them all in one fell shoot of them a Deku Nut. There we go. Whoops. Alright, gotta do it again though. Oh, we missed it on the second one. The second one, you gotta get it as they're coming up real quick there, and unfortunately I did not have my boomerang prepped in time. But that's okay. We were able to get the first one, which I personally think the first one's a little more annoying. And that setup there was not too bad. We didn't lose too much. So at the final phase of Baronade, we're going to see, we're going to hit Baronade, and then we're going to roll into Baronade. Baronade comes out of the ground, normally after like shooting some lightning, but always comes up if you take, like if you get hit by Baronade. So by us rolling into Baronade, we actually don't take damage, but it still triggers Baronade to come out of the ground faster, so that's why you'll see us roll into Baronade there. But GG. Finally, our third dungeon is finished. I'm thinking Ice Cavern is gonna have our progress. There's some fire arrows, so that's a little interesting. Not anything useful without magic right now, but we know we'll be getting magic in the Ice Cavern, so we'll see what happens with that. We are going to do one more check here in Zora's Fountain, just because it's more convenient to do coming out of Jabu-Jabu, because it puts us over here. There is one fairy fountain over here, so we're going to check that. We're going to get one more skull here, so we have 24. Getting very close to that 30 just in case. And there's also one more gossip stone here that I'm gonna read. 30 is a bomb bag. All right, we don't need 30. That was our answer there. We don't need 30. We already have a bomb bag, so good thing. That's why we read the hint stones. So now I don't have to waste any time worrying about skulls. I don't have to worry about 30 skulls anymore. Alright, now we're going back adult so that we can go to Ice Cavern. Ice Cavern, we know we're going to get our magic, so at the very least, that paired with the fire arrows is going to get us another check. With lighting the torches in the Composer's Grave. We also get 4 items in Ice Cavern. One will be magic, but we'll get a song, which will probably be Requiem of Spirit. And we will get there's one more item that we can get right now in Zora's Fountain. The other one is locked by Iron Boots, which we don't have. But 5 items total at the very least. The fastest way to get there right now is we're gonna warp over using Minuet. So go to the Sacred Forest Meadow. From there we can use our scale to get to Zora's River right in front of Zora's Domain. This is why warp songs are so important in randomizers. Because there's just so much, as you have seen, a lot of running around the sea trying to, you know, use what items we have, double dipping, triple dipping back into certain areas sometimes, depending on how the item progression is. As I said, it kind of stinks that the seed has been, like at the beginning we got a lot and then it became very linear, unfortunately. As I said, for if this gets into Flame Fatales, we'll definitely vet the seed, and hopefully get a seed that's not... I'm gonna ask whoever vets it to make sure that this is not a linear seed where we get bottlenecked like we did in this one. It does happen, but I think it'd be a lot more interesting if this wasn't the way it played out. As I said, these seeds are supposed to be faster. I'm expecting to not take longer than 3 hours 15 minutes for these, but as I said, you know, if stuff like this happens, this makes it longer. But we could definitely do stuff to make it faster setting wise, even faster than the Blitz settings normally are. Alright, that is nothing over there. Just the bomb. Alright, good old ice cavern. Unfortunately, these guys are very easy to kill if you have magic, but we do not, so it's going to take us a little longer. If we come in here with magic, we can use like a charged spin here right away and knock them all out very quickly. Oh, shoot. Or if you have Din's Fire, you can also use that. Again, you need magic, but just didn't have good tools. Which that's part of the fun of Rando, learning how to do different rooms with the given tools you have. Now we will be getting our magic though in here, so that's nice. That'll be nice. I'm glad we don't need any more skulls, because we cannot get any of the skulls in here without a hook shot. I'm going to go ahead right now and equip our 2 bottles. And now we get to deal with what I deem the most annoying enemy in the game, the Ice Keys. The Ice Keys, their mission in life is to make you miserable. They lock onto you, chase you to the end of the world, so that they can freeze you. Just like so. In hopes that you die. Having a bow in here does help. And just snipe that one there. I did not look where the other one is. The main goal is to kind of get out of this room as fast as possible without them all coming in, getting you. We do have a nice little... well, rip that. I was about to say, I do have a nice little skip there. Got another Ice Keys after us. Okay. Here we're gonna roll to grab onto that ledge. That just takes away having to go around there and dealing with the enemy right there. If I hadn't fell off the edge right there, that would have been nicer. But not a big deal. Alright, first item is garbage. Wow. Speaking of Ice Cavern, another incentive, I know I mentioned cow sanity incentive earlier, but I know people love Ice Mayhem, which replaces a lot of these junk items with ice traps. Again, it's another setting that really doesn't like up the time too much of the seed, so having it as a setting isn't gonna like hurt the seed too much. Yeah. It's just, I know it's the thing that the people like to see. And it's funny when you grab an item and it's, oops, it's an ice trap, so. Definitely some good stream value with that instead of if it got met. Alright, we have only one more item left in here. One more to go. Yo, Dylan, thanks for the raid. I appreciate it, man. I hope you're doing good. So this, normally in vanilla you would melt that with some blue fire. Reality, you just need to jump slash it, in the corner. There's like a corner right there, you can jump slash it. This room is particularly evil because of all these ice keys, as I mentioned. Their only goal in life is to make you miserable. I don't know why that one went so far away. But, I'm not gonna complain because he's out of my life. To note, there is only, one more spot that we need blue fire in the ice cavern to get through. I am gonna grab some more fire here though because we do have one more check that requires blue fire, and that's, King Zora. King Zora, he's covered with a red ice, as we saw when we went through Zora's domain. If you use a blue fire and melt him, he will graciously give you an item. Hopefully he's like holding on to our hookshot. We do know that at the end of here should be our magic, as we did get the hint that Ice Cavern hoards our magic, so unless the game lied to us, that's what should be here at the very end. That's the last check. Excuse me, excuse me. All right. The big thing we're gonna see here, though, is what song are we gonna get? I'm banking on Requiem, which will let us go to Child Side of Spirit. Also just makes that Requiem we did earlier a little more useful. Here's our magic, and that is Requiem. Okay. So I was right. So now we're in this position where, again, we don't have much left to do. We're gonna go, the way to get out of here fast, especially without iron boots, is we're just gonna come back out into this room and void out. It's gonna put us back at the beginning of the temple, so that we can leave and go freeze King Zora. After this, we're gonna go ahead and take that magic and utilize it, as I said, in the Composer's Grave. Composer's Grave is going to give us an item by lighting the torches. There is a way to light those without magic and fire source. As a child, you can use flame storage in there. Unfortunately, this run, that never really came up, so I didn't use it, but that is an option that you could see potentially given the situation. That's like the big fun thing about Zooter, is there's just so many different situations you can find yourself in, and kind of figuring out the best way with your hints and stuff to do the best you can. Sir. Sir. All right, here we go. So we do have Requiem, so we get to come out here real quick. As I said, we prepped this earlier. We don't have the boss key. So that's a little, I'm gonna come here first as an adult and just, bank on, we're just gonna hope that we get, one of the few checks here with a hook shot, maybe has our boss key. If not, we'll plant Farore's Wind in here at the top, and we'll have to go Child, unfortunately, to get the boss key. But with that hook shot, we are now in what we call go mode. So we'll be able to beat Spirit Temple here for sure, and we'll be able to go beat Forest Temple. And that will be our 5th dungeon. If we find our hammer on the way there, we will go do that, because that'll be... I swear I didn't know that was there! That is very, very lovely, though, because that means we will not have to go into Forest Temple. Forest Temple is miserably slow and boring. So the fact that we are now in very fast... Yes, this is really great. This is fantastic. We're just hoping to find here... we really want to find our boss key here as an adult. We'd hate to have to... It would really stink to go back Child just to get the boss key here for Spirit Temple, but whew, that was all right. See, this is all of our progress was hard locked behind that 20 skulls, unfortunately. Come on, boss key. We don't have many checks left in here. All right, we have one more as an adult. I need all the good vibes that we can get here in chat. There is 2 more checks over here as an adult, and if it is not in those 2 checks, we do have to go to Child Side Spirit, which would just be unfortunate. Oops, I'm gonna wait. Better to be safe than sorry. Come on! Will it be behind chest number 1? Oh gosh. Oh, what a rush. And that's, again, this is why I love Zooter, is yes, there are moments like earlier where you get bottlenecked and it's just, oh, it feels bad. But there are also moments like this where it just, excitement. That's a neat room there, a strat. Normally this room is a lot more of a setup, a whole puzzle, but if you just take some damage from the flames and mash A, you can open the chest. Alright, this is the last one. This needs to be, whoops, this needs to be our boss key here. Thank you everyone for the good vibes in chat. They paid off, and now we are going to be making some Ganon bacon pretty soon here. Pretty hecking soon. All we have to do is beat Twin Rova, run into Fire Temple, which will be very fast. This is fantastic. Super fantastic. And just like that, we got all our progress. It does stink that I wasted a lot of time to try to show off some cool strats. That would not happen during the marathon. I wanted to showcase that to GDQ so that you guys could see some of the cool stuff that you could potentially do in the marathon. However, in order to guarantee that we'll be faster, I will probably follow the logic more closely. That's why we read the hint stones, is for the logic, but you know, sometimes you want to just get a little spicy. Definitely at this point, as I said, we should not take longer than 3:15, and we will definitely meet that unless something goes terribly wrong. Alright, this fight is a little RNG heavy, depending on if the ladies want to cooperate here, which they don't. You can kind of use the hook shot sometimes to help keep them in place if needed. Whoop, oh. But they're not putting themselves in any good position. I will try to showcase that. So if one of them starts charging up and the other one's in a good position, we'll use the hook shot to hold the other one in that position. Uh-oh. What happened there? These ladies are not, they are not working with me right now. Game? Never had that happen before. Okay. You want to try to get yourself in a corner away from them. But sometimes they just put themselves in bad positions. Please, ma'am. Ah! There we go. All right, now to get serious. Okay? Okay. I actually have never read the dialogue there. Alright, so here we're gonna do some neat little movement. We only have a Master Sword, but we can one-cycle her. We're gonna position ourselves basically onto the platform so that we're already there. We already stored Jump Slash. So now we're on the platform, ready to get her right away. So we didn't have to waste any time coming over here. Already had the stored Jump Slash and killed her one cycle. Easy peasy. Now all we need to do is take our Megaton Hammer, which thankfully we got the boss key already for Fire Temple. And we're just gonna head over there and quickly beat Volvagia. And then we'll go beat Ganondorf. I'm just gonna see real quick if that was a big Goron sword. I would have grabbed it, but it wasn't. big Goron sword. It's just a nice item to have if you have access to it. All right, let's go beat. This is really, really nice. So this fight, I'm gonna be able to showcase some pretty cool strats. Hopefully we can get the 1 cycle, if not 2 cycle. We're gonna be using Bomb Chews and Deku Nuts. So I'm gonna explain this now as we head in here. So normally with a Master Sword, Volvagia takes 4 cycles with jump slashes. And with the big Goron sword, she takes 3. However, you can use bombs or bomb shoes to do additional damage at times where you normally wouldn't be able to attack her. Basically, her hitbox, Volvagia flies around, and her hitbox when she lands stays in whatever one of the holes she lands in. So we're going to explode some well-timed bomb chews to damage her, and you'll be able to hear her cries as I do it. I'm gonna say it does look a lot easier than it is. It's very precise, the timing and the location, but it's pretty neat when done well. I'm gonna reposition myself real quick here. Whoops. And there it is! The 1 cycle Volvagia with Master Sword. So that, I know it looked very, there's like a certain rhythm you have to do to get it. There's like a very small area in those holes that you can hit. You can also do it with regular bombs, but it's kind of different. You have to know exactly where to place the bomb in the hole. But yeah, we're gonna grab this just because it's something helpful and stuff. But there, that's that. Let's go make some bacon. What a great ending to the seed, I have to say. There was a little bit of a struggle bus moment there with the bottlenecking. As I said many times, we'll make sure to vet the seed so that there is not bottlenecking or flame fatales if the run gets in. I think in the terms of a marathon, watching someone run around in last location and item is not, you know, the best. It's much more interesting to watch, you know, someone be able to do a lot of things, but it also isn't the worst either. Because it just kind of shows, like, you know, trying to use different strats and stuff to access areas you normally can't access. Alright, real quick, I'm gonna set up here. I am going to, just for marathon safety, since I have an extra bottle, I'm going to grab a fairy before we go up. Just because I don't have double defense and I don't have a lot of health on me, we do have to fight some iron knuckles on the way up, and if I get smashed by them, I'd hate to have to make the climb back up, so it's just for the sake of the marathon, I am going to grab one. Hopefully we don't need it, but it It's definitely better to be safe than sorry. This would be the time during the run that I am going to go ahead and put in some plugs here. If you are interested in what you saw today with Ocarina of Time Randomizer, please join the Ooter Discord. There's a lot of great resources out there. Tons of people who would love to help others get involved. This is very easy to get involved with. There's so many great resources for new runners. And you can adjust the difficulty and turn off any checks that, you know, maybe starting off, I know a lot of people turn off 1500 horseback archery because that check is not the easiest. So you can like turn off any check you don't like when genning a randomizer seed, which is really nice. Sorry, I'm like concentrating here. Yo, Stacy, thanks for the Prime Gaming sub. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. See, this is why we grabbed a fairy, just in case. Not that we're low on health, but the not having double defense during this part you take a lot of damage coming up sometimes. That's what I was hoping to see there. That's what we call the validation chest. It's recommended you check it because it validates your run. Not really, but that's something we say. Again, as I showcased earlier, we're gonna do the left foot stat. We're gonna stand here at the left foot and crouch stab. Uh-oh. Well, I accidentally got the other one out there. This is why we got the fairy in a bottle, baby. Got the fairy in a bottle. Okay. That's why we did that for safety. Sometimes things go awry. That's okay. We're good. We're heading up. So you might be wondering, Nukes, why did you equip that empty bottle? That's weird. What, you gonna fight Ganondorf with a bottle? Are you gonna stuff him in the bottle? Well, we are gonna fight him with the bottle. During the Ganondorf fight, there's a kind of an infamous tennis portion of the fight. And using a bottle to deflect his attacks actually gives you a lot more leeway. And just makes it a lot easier. So it's just more consistent than having to use your sword. What about Zelda? Makes you think she'd be better ruler than I am. I can't help you, Freight House. Don't worry. I got you. Alright, so this is a little bit of an interesting fight here. We're gonna get on this platform here and not move. Once he starts his attack, we're gonna take a step forward and deflect. It immediately ends that attack. And we're already here. If you do the tennis from off of this platform, you're probably gonna have to volley back and forth with him, so that's why we step over here. It just cuts down the tennis portion of the fight. Oh, what's going on here? Alright, that was very off. There's like a weird pattern that if you get it, you can one-cycle him. I don't know why some of my attacks were missing, unfortunately. But that's okay. I get to showcase, though, that when this attack happens, you can just hit him with a light arrow. Most people don't know that. But you actually don't have to let him finish that attack. Yeah. Okay, so now here we are. the final fight. Time will be when we slash his face at the end. I'm gonna equip our hammer here. We're gonna go ahead and do a jump slash with the Master Sword. So even though Ganon's gonna knock our Master Sword away, since we did that jump slash before this cutscene, that damage value is stored for our power crouch stabs that we will power crouch with our hammer. So the best way to do this fight is hopefully you have a hammer or a big Goron sword with you, and you can go ahead and do that storage like I did here to power crouch stab. However, if you don't have those items, you can literally fight him with anything here. You can use your hook shot, you can use your arrows. I think the funnest one to showcase though is the Deku Nuts. 10 Deku Nuts is enough to kill Ganon here. And I think it's the most interesting one, an unusual one to showcase. But we pretty much then fight here is just like as I did here. We're gonna do that again once we grab our Master Sword. It's just rolling in and out of his legs and crouch stabbing on his tail, which we'll do again here. We're gonna run back and jump slash him real quick. Roll under his leggies. Whoop, sir. This phase of the fight, you do need to use the Master Sword, so that's oh boy, we are not in a good position health-wise here. For safety, just for marathon safety, I am going to utilize Nehru's Love here. I shouldn't need it, but if I was in this scenario in the marathon, this is what I would do. Because dying on this fight would not be a fun time. And there we go. Alright, time is when we slash his face. Coming up here after Zelda does her... And we're still, despite all that happened in the seed, still a sub 3 hour, which is fantastic. That's time. GG. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you consider putting Zooter Blitz Settings, or as we call it, Zooter 5 Dungeon, into playing Fatales. I would love to showcase this. I know people love Zooters. And it'd just be a really fun, awesome run to watch. So thank you so much.